Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, not even 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, yesterday I was just too busy. If there's nothing that really grabs me, sometimes there's a lot of stories and I just get so wound up. I get a panicky feeling, like nauseous. Yesterday was one of those days. And then, so I figured, this morning I'm going to wake up nice and early. There's going to be a lot to talk about Sunday morning because there was a Trump rally last night in North Carolina. And there's a lot of stories about, I hesitate to call it rock and roll, music, getting involved in politics. I'll be a little more clear in a second on that. So I knew there'd be a lot to talk about this morning. So I've been up for 2 hours now looking over all the stories. And again, I get this, I went over the Trump rally. I went over these music stories and I just get this, not just a panicked feeling, nauseous. So I wasn't sure what to talk about. The best way for me to do a video is just to be straightforward, honest with you. So that's what I'm going to do that now. I looked over these stories and that was my gut reaction, just like a panicky, nauseous feeling for our country. I'm going to give you a preliminary, some of the stuff that came to my mind watching the review of the Trump rally last night and at Kid Rock, D. Snyder. I don't know who else is involved in this. Anyway, okay, let's just get right into it and go to the Trump rally. One of the most biggest things there's a couple things that stood out. I'm going to be talking about this. I'm going to make another video later. I need time to digest what I saw. I don't know. It's like looking at multiple car accidents, and it's going to take me time to kind of put it all into context. But let me go over it first with you guys. Okay, one of the biggest Trump quotes of the night was that Trump thinks that when God created him, God created one of the most honest, cleanest men ever in the world. By clean, he means not involved in lying, dirty politics, stealing, embezzlement, stuff like that. That God made, he thinks that God made him one of the most honest people ever. Now this is kind of interesting, right? But it was the crowd's reaction. The links will all be down below. The crowd's reaction. They didn't cheer. A lot of the other stuff he talked about, they cheered. There was a different reaction with this. They laughed. They watched the video. They all laughed. That answers the question. I've told you guys over and over, I cannot relate to Trump supporters for the life of me. There was one instance where he's talking about Leticia James, the Attorney General for New York. First of all, he says Leticia James isn't the Attorney General anymore. That's gonna be news to Leticia James because she is the Attorney General. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. But this is the thing. The way that he said her name, Leticia James, I can't even do it. It just makes me freaking nauseous, man. There's certain words, certain the way that he says words, the way that he says specific things, and for the life of me, I can't figure out who would ever say that they admire or I don't get it. So anyway, this was a big telling moment because they laughed. They laughed. They know that's bull, man. He's a liar. That right there tells me what I need to know. Because one of the biggest questions I got is, do Trump supporters really truly believe that there was massive voter fraud? And this answered it. This is what I think. I think there was a pandemic. There's been pandemics all throughout history, through American history. There's going to be pandemics in the future. It happens. They're not scheduled. They're not planned, at least not yet. And it happened, right? And the way that Donald Trump responded to it, it'll all be gone in 3 weeks. There'll be 0 cases. And then not wearing the mask. It killed his presidency. It was the beginning of the end of Donald Trump. combined with it being more safe for people to not go into polling places. So the circumstances created a situation where more of America could have a say and vote. More American citizens it was easier for the country to vote through just a series of circumstances. Nothing, to me, there was nothing planned. There was nothing planned about any of this. And it led to the end of Donald Trump, thank God. I consider it an act of God. I really do. And Trump supporters know this, but they just won't accept it. I think they're trying to find any reason to make it they find, like I said before, these guys just watch they've seen too many X-Files back in the 20 or 30 years ago. And they see conspiracy, there's a big conspiracy. And I started thinking about mainstream media. What is mainstream media? It's the truth. It's what's going on out there. I heard Mike Lindell say something about, it's not what they say, it's what they don't talk about. Yeah, they don't talk about things that they could be sued for, fake and false information. Just because they don't go along with the election being stolen doesn't make them fake news. Anyway, so they all laugh when Trump says he's the most honest man. There's another clip below where there's a father, a mother, and a little kid, right? And I still don't know if this guy it's an African-American man. He looks like he has a mohawk. And I'm not sure if he is kind of trolling the Trump supporters or if he's one of them. I still haven't been able to figure it out yet. If he's trolling them, he's damn good at it. And he asks the parents about how, are you glad it's the first time you see Donald Trump? And the mother says, well, it's him, the kid. The kid's like 3 years old. And he's the one that told me that Donald Trump was coming. And so he puts the microphone down to the kid. And he says, why are you glad you're here? And he says, or who are you going to see today? And the kid says, I'm going to see Joe Biden, the president. So this kid's going to get a beating when he goes home. And both the parents go, Donald Trump. That's a memorable moment in this. Okay, there's another one, the clip down below, with two brothers with southern accents so thick that as a northerner, I can't even understand half of what they're saying. And I watched this video a couple of times, and I swear, to me, it looks like they're saying, because the interviewer, the reporter's a black guy, right? And I could, I don't know if I'm wrong here, but I could swear these two brothers are going, we like you guys. You guys are all right with us, meaning African Americans. I'm not sure. They could be talking about the media, but I don't think so. I think they're referring to him as an African American man. It's a very racist. They think they're saying something non-racist, but to me, it just looks. It looks like typical Trump supporter stuff. All right. Here's another thing Donald Trump said yesterday. He said that Putin needs somebody that's going to talk back to him. Now, you guys have heard me before talk about, I've been, not proud of it, but I've been in a lot of altercations, physical fist fights in my life, over 80 at least. It comes with being a tall guy. I'm quiet, but a lot of times you become a focal point, an unwanted focal point. And I've talked about this before. So Trump says, because Putin says, he talks about his nukes. So Donald Trump is what Donald Trump is saying is Putin needs somebody that's going to fire back. Like, we're going to break out our nukes. No, we're going to break out our nukes. We're going to nuke you. No, we're going to nuke you. That's what Donald Trump is insinuating clearly here. That, Putin needs somebody that's going to talk back to him. I've told you this, you guys this before. The first thing that came to mind is, I've seen, whenever I see two guys that never got in a fight before, that have no intention of actually fighting, they do this, you got a problem? No, you got a problem. They push each other, and they get this close. That's one thing I've told you guys this before. Never, ever, ever go nose to nose with somebody. Because whenever anybody's done that to me, boom, It's amazing what a headbutt will do. Never do that. So that's the first thing I thought of. I just thought of these ridiculous pseudo macho guys getting in each other's faces. You fight. No, and both of them are too chicken to do anything, too scared to ever do anything. And that's this talking thing. Strength is in your mouth. So like in that situation, what I learned, when you do that, when you talk smack like that, you're gonna come up against a guy who's just gonna come up like me and just bam or bam. There's not gonna be any words, and that's what'll happen. Probably Putin being it seems like he's got a screw loose at this point. Donald Trump will start talking smack back to him, and before you know it, we're gonna have a 30-second warning about ICBMs raining down over New England. That's what happens when you just run your mouth. All right, I got so much more to talk about. I see I'm running late. I haven't even gotten to the Kid Rock stuff. Kid Rock has a Donald Trump video opening for his concerts now. Dee Snider puts a Republican GOP candidate in his place. I'll talk about that in the next video. You guys have a great Sunday.